Hi guys, it's Jody. Today's video, there's going to be a change of scenery and y'all understand why. I'll explain it in the video, but I do want to do a floating bloom today, one with the background, but this one I want to try and keep in the middle. So hopefully the paint will allow me to do that today. So let's go get started. All right, we are going to go over the colors, the cell activator, and the pillow, and you may recognize this mat from older videos. I am not in my usual studio upstairs. I know I just moved up there a couple months ago, but it is so hot here, and I'm not temperature controlled in my art studio upstairs. It's a little bit cooler in the basement, so I have kind of a temporary setup down here for when it's too hot to paint upstairs. So you'll kind of see me going in between upstairs and down here, at least for the next month or so while it is super hot. So at any rate, my colors for today are, I've got the Golden Fluid Iridescent Bright Gold, and I'd mixed these upstairs, and since this is a fluid and I mix it with my pouring medium, all of these are mixed with my Valspar Varathane pouring medium mix, but it was super thin. I actually had to add a little bit of the golden gel gloss just to thicken it up a little bit. And these paints have been sitting down here probably about 12 hours now, and they did thicken up slightly. It's maybe 5 degrees cooler. But at any rate, this is the gold we're going to use. And then my second color, I've got the PBO Studio Acrylics, the Iridescent Blue Black. This is not a new or smaller container. I literally just took it, and it was getting to the bottom of it, so I cut it in half just to kind of dig out what was stuck in here, and I just put the top part back on. So that's why it looks so little. But this is, I started with this, as I usually do, with my pouring medium, and then I added a couple squirts of the Golden Fluid Permanent Violet Dark to get my favorite purple. You've seen me use this before. Again, this is also Valspar Varathane pouring medium. And then my last color I have is the Jo Sonja Black Umber. And here's what that one looks like. Again, Valspar Varathane pouring medium mix. I have got 2 cell activators, and they are both mixed with Australian Floetrol at 4:1, 4 parts Australian Floetrol, 1 part paint. And the 1 part paint for my white cell activator is the Atelier Interactive Titanium White. And all this information, all of what you're seeing here will be pictured at the end of the video and then listed in detail in the description box below the video per usual. So that's the white cell activator. And then my gold cell activator. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I like to mix 2 golds. So the 1 part paint is actually 2 paints. You don't have to do that. You can use 1. This is just personal preference. But I use Atelier Interactive Pale Gold and then the PBO Studio Acrylics Precious Gold. And I mix about a half a part each to come up with this gold here. Now, my pillow. Today I've actually got my Glidden Premium in Satin. I've got about a half a container here left. And I get asked a lot about my pillow. Do I add anything to it? Or do I just use it straight from the can? I just use it straight from the can. Now, obviously, this isn't the can, but I don't like going into my cans all the time. You know, every time you open it, you add air into it, which can create bubbles. And, you know, the more space you have in there can create air bubbles. So I like to actually put it in a separate container. This is a 32-ounce yogurt container that I just repurposed. So that's the pillow we're going to use today. Now I am going to bring it over to the canvas and explain what we're going to do. All right, for this piece we're going to do today, I've got it taped up in the back. This is a 14-inch square standard canvas, and I want to do a floating bloom, you know, with a background. The last one we did, however, had a mind of its own and wanted to go off center, but I really would like this one to be centered today, but, you know, again, we'll see what the paint has to say. And I want to do the swipes in the middle again, and I'm going to use the gold cell activator to accomplish that. I want something really soft, but as it dries with the gold and the cells coming up, it just has this hint of gold in there. I think it's so pretty, and I think it'll work really nicely with the colors we have for the bloom here. So I'm going to get this flooded, And then we're going to get started swiping the middle portion of this. All right, I've got my canvas all flooded, and this is the tool we're going to be using to swipe the background and put the cell activator in here, and I'll show you before we start swiping. All right, I've just got the gold cell activator, so I've just got a thin layer there, and we're going to swipe right here first. I think we'll go out to here. All right, that swiped really nicely. This is actually how I wanted it. I knew that the gold cell activator, since I mean we're literally just using cell activator, it's going to sink down pretty well with the pillow paint and kind of give you all these white cells. But as we spin it out, you will see a little bit of the gold, and as it dries, it gets this really neat kind of shimmery gold effect in the lines. So that's what I wanted. So now we are going to do the bloom portion in the center. All right, I am going to start with the gold. Lay that down first in the center. I think that should be plenty. And then I'm going to put the black umber next. Like so. And finally, my purple color. Oops. That just kind of plopped right in there. All right, that looks good. All right, I am only going to use the white cell activator. I wanted the gold cell activator for the background, but we're going to use the white cell activator for this bloom. And that should be plenty. All right, here we go. I need my straw. All right, this is filling in nicely. I'm gonna let this fill in a little bit more, and then we're gonna modify it. Let's modify this, shall we? Wow, I love all the cells in the middle here. I almost don't want to touch them. All right, I am digging with this. Looks like I'm excited to see how it spins out. You're gonna laugh when you see my spinner set up down here. It's on the floor because I didn't have my spinner boxes upstairs. So let's go over to the spinner floor and spin this out. All right, let's just give you a better view here. This is what we got here before we spin it out. Make sure it's in the center. And for any of you wondering, I just have a piece of plastic down on the floor in my spinner, and that is all. Again, since my spinner box is upstairs. So we are going to spin this slowly and guide it from there. Oof. Opening up nicely. I just want to keep it in the center though. Oh gosh. Oof. That white, I'm glad I chose to use just the white. It's starting to look like lightning a little bit. Let's spin this some more. Just trying to keep it in the center as much as possible. Things like to go. And this this bloom feels as though it's going to stay in the center, so let's just keep spinning. Yes. Ugh, this is opening up so nicely. I want to get it open just a bit more, and I've got paint to do that. I've got a little bit of white down here and a little bit white on the corner, but I think if I give it a couple more spins, it should take care of that. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, I think we are just about there. I just want to move this over just a little. I want the paint to go this way just a little. Ooh, gosh, I love this. All right, let me just go this way really quick. See if I can get just the tiniest more paint off, and let's bring it back because I like what I'm seeing here. This is a little challenging to do it on the floor, but beggars can't be choosers, and I'm a bit cooler down here. Ugh, this opened up so nicely. I think I like it just like this. I think this is my favorite orientation so far. All right, I am done with this. I'm gonna, my paint, just see here, right? I know I'm being picky. Tiny little bit. All right, my paint is barely moving, so we've got enough paint off. I am totally digging this. This is a winner chicken dinner. I'm gonna get cleaned up and I will bring you over for the flyover of this guy. All right, here it is as a whole. I've changed my mind on the orientation. I love this, and then the other orientation you saw on the spinner, but this has got some really neat shimmers, and the background is doing just what I wanted it to do. If you can kind of see how it has that subtle gold shimmer, it's going to be really nice when it's dried, but oh, I love this right here. It looks like lightning when it's with the purple, and because my paints are thinner, the cell activator just kind of sinks down a little bit more. If you're ever wondering about that lightning effect, it's your paint consistencies. And these are starting to move ever so slightly because my paints are on the thinner side. Nothing I can do about it, but it's still going to be so cool. I love how it almost looks like it's glowing, but all these shimmers in here and that blue black is going to come through really nicely. Ugh, I love this piece. It couldn't have gone any better than I've imagined. This is so cool. I love how that blue black is going to shine in there once it dries. All right, I am so excited to see how this dries. So I'll be back once it's dried to show you the dried results. All right, here it is as a whole. It just dried so beautifully. I had just a few little cells kind of move around in the middle, but that's to be expected in this heat. But let me bring you in. We'll go over more orientations and I'll show you all the shimmers. There's a lot of nice ones hiding in here. This is probably my favorite spiral right here. I mean, it just looks like there's a light right there, and this spiral just gets me. And right here, that lightning effect, I love it so much. Some of these cells in here, they got a little bit carried away, but that's all right. I love the overall effect of this whole color palette along with the background. It's just so beautiful. And all these cells, I mean, the cells just exploded with this. And this purple here you see, that blue black is gonna come out. Let's bring you over and kind of show you the shimmers now. Yeah, there it is. You can see the shimmer of that gold and then that blue black and the purple. I love in there where you get a little bit of both, but over here in the background, I wanted to show you why I did it the way I did it, because this is the result I wanted and I knew I would get. It's very subtle when you look at it straight on, but it has a really nice shimmer to it. This just dried so beautifully. I love this piece so much. I might have to create a bigger one and keep it for myself. All right, let's go check out some orientations now. Here's the original orientation I had when it was still wet on the spinner. And I really like this orientation as well as the first one. Ooh, this one's nice too. There might not be a bad orientation. Ooh. Same with this one as well. Let's check one on the diagonal. All right, here's a diagonal orientation for my diagonal peeps. You know who you are. Oh, I love it on the diagonal too. This has so many ways it can go. I just love it. I want to hear your favorite orientation. I'm going to flip you around now for my final thoughts. Really not a bad orientation with this piece at all. I love when that happens, when you've got, you know, for this, you've got 8 different ways it can go. So almost like, you know, once a week, you can just move it a different orientation and it's like you have a new piece. So I would love to hear your favorite orientation and what you thought of this piece. So let me know in the comments below. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.